Breaking news! Things are hectic around here. Our Falcons had an insane practice, and besides talking about that, we also have other topics to cover here. So stay until the end to stay well informed about everything happening here in Atlanta. But before we dive into today's news, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so you never miss the latest updates. Okay, first let's talk about what happened at the Miami Dolphins Atlanta Falcons practice. Tempers flared on Tuesday morning when the Dolphins defense and the Falcons offense got into a bit of a fight. It all started with Dolphins cornerback Ethan Bonner and our own Drake London. It looks like Dolphins cornerback Elijah Campbell also got involved, adding fuel to the fire. Even Tyreek Hill and Terron Armstead had to run across the field to see what was going on, and former Falcon, now Dolphin, Calais Campbell tried to play peacemaker. Coaches always warn players not to get into a fight, but it seems those warnings often fall on deaf ears when the competitive juices are flowing. Miami's defense has made it clear that it wants to be tougher, more physical, and more aggressive this offseason. Dolphins safety Javon Holland said it got a little bit nervous on the other side. Sometimes that's how it goes when you have two opposing teams going at it. It's like, hey, protect my team, they're protecting their team. Things get heated, they get aggressive, they get rowdy. But you know, that happens, and you kind of have to roll with it. The warm temperatures in South Florida probably didn't help either. Overall, the Dolphins seemed to have the edge on both offense and defense Tuesday. Tyreek Hill said, "I don't really know what happened, so I can't really talk about it. But it's good to see guys never back down from anybody. It shows a lot when guys back down. It shows a lot about their character. For the guys we have on this team, I don't see a lot of guys doing that. And you can see it on the other side of the field. These guys were going at it. It's a beautiful thing to see. The Dolphins are looking to be physical on both sides of the ball this season. Their offensive line will be tested without Connor Williams and Robert Hunt, who are both already departed. Calais Campbell, now with the Dolphins, said of his new teammates, "We have a bunch of guys that are scrappy. There's a narrative that we're trying to change. We want to be tough guys. That's just part of it." Campbell added that the most important thing is the practice work, and round 2 is scheduled for Wednesday in Miami Gardens. So, Falcons fans, what did you think of practice? Do you think this is a sign of good intensity, or would you prefer things to stay calm and controlled? Let us know in the comments below. Okay, now let's dive into something that has everyone talking. Have the Falcons found another gem in J.D. Bertrand, similar to Nate Landman? Now, heading into April's draft, we already had solid depth at inside linebacker with Nate Landman, Caden Ellis, and Troy Anderson. These guys are more than capable of holding down the microphone linebacker spot. So when we drafted J.D. Bertrand, there weren't any big expectations right away. But since he arrived in Flowery Branch, Bertrand has been turning heads. Earlier today, Bo Morgan on the morning shift said, "With Bertrand, you really just want him to be in the right place at the right time." These linebackers, you see that a lot around the league with the way they run offenses and really the way defenses are going. Man, do your job, stay in your space, and be ready. I think they're going to have a Landman-type player in Bertrand. That's high praise, and if there's anyone you want Bertrand to emulate, it's Landman. J.D. Bertrand joined the Midday Show with Andy and Randy yesterday, where he talked about how being part of a group of young linebackers has helped him immensely. He also shared some valuable advice that Nate Landman has given him. Bertrand said, "I think it's helped me a lot because being a younger group, they might say, 'Hey, my first open practice or my first joint practice was just a year ago, just 2 years ago.' So now they're like, 'Hey, this is kind of what I needed.' Well, the first day of guards like Nate comes up to me and says, 'Hey, try to beat the crap out of somebody, get that respect from the defense.' But if he was in 6th, 7th grade, he might not be thinking that way because it was so long ago. It's actually helped me a lot." After the breakout season Landman had last year, if J.D. Bertrand can follow in his footsteps, the Falcons are really set up for success at the linebacker position, now and in the future. So Falcons fans, what do you think of J.D. Bertrand? Do you think he could be the next Nate Landman for us? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. I need to address an important topic with you, but before I continue, make sure you've already hit the like button so you're always well informed. The Falcons have released their first depth chart of the 2024 preseason, and while these charts aren't definitive, they definitely give us some intriguing insights. The biggest takeaway? Troy Anderson is listed as a starting inside linebacker alongside Caden Ellis. This is interesting because throughout training camp, Anderson and Nate Landman have been getting plenty of first-team reps. They've even been paired together frequently, showing just how much depth we have at the linebacker position. Head coach Raheem Morris has mentioned multiple times that having 3 starting caliber inside linebackers is a good problem to have, and that's been evident in every practice session thus far. Moving to the secondary, Richie Grant has secured the starting spot at safety alongside Jesse Bates III, beating out DeMarco Helms. On the cornerback front, Mike Hughes gets the starting nod opposite A.J. Terrell. This suggests that some of the anticipated camp battles, particularly at safety and corner, may not be as close as we thought. Remember, things can change at any moment. We couldn't help but talk about an emerging star in our Falcons offense, Ray McCloud. As we approach the 2024 season, our defense has a lot of questions to answer. Who will start opposite A.J. Terrell at cornerback? How will the linebackers rotate? Who will be our starting edge rushers? But on the offensive side, things are a little clearer, except for one key position, wide receiver. We all know that Drake London is a lock to be our number 1 wide receiver. But after him, no one knows. Enter Ray McCloud, who has been turning heads in training camp. While many assumed Darnell Mooney would naturally take over the number 2 receiver role, McCloud is making a strong case to dispel that assumption. During our first joint practice with the Miami Dolphins, McCloud's performance was a highlight. Andy Bunker and Randy McMichael on the Midday Show have been talking about the position battles, focusing particularly on how McCloud is causing the coaching staff to reconsider their depth chart. Bunker and McMichael discussed how McCloud's consistency and work ethic have been impossible to ignore. His crisp route running, sure hands, and explosive playmaking ability have made him a favorite target for our quarterbacks throughout camp. This has led to speculation that McCloud may secure a more prominent role in the offense than he initially anticipated. That kind of competition is exactly what we need to elevate our game. Having McCloud moving forward not only pushes Darnell Mooney to bring his best, but it also adds depth and versatility to our receiving core. It's a win-win situation for the Falcons, creating a dynamic and unpredictable offense that will keep defenses on their toes. So, Falcons fans, what do you think? Can Ray McCloud surpass Darnell Mooney and become our number 2 wide receiver? How do you see this impacting our offense this season? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And remember, if you enjoyed these updates, hit the like button and subscribe to stay up to date on all things Falcons. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Go Falcons!